All right, so today we're going to talk about the straw tower activity, the first project that we're going to do for this semester. So a couple of things I would like you guys to think about as we go through this process. One is, how can technologies be used to repair damage caused by natural disasters? That's something that we have to think about extremely often when we're designing architecture, especially depending on where the location of that architecture will lie. Two is, how does our design as a creative planning process lead to useful products and systems? It's very important, and we're going to tap into a little bit more on the EDP, but really making sure that you plan out using your journals that were provided to you to kind of step back in your designs and think creatively, but also map out your execution before you begin just starting to put materials together. And lastly, as we go throughout this project, I want you to think how you can apply appropriate tools to solve real world and mathematical problems involving area, surface area, volume, height, etc. I feel for a lot of you, just as it's the same for me, that I really struggle with math unless I can put it towards either a real world problem and something I can relate to, or I have tangible materials in front of me that helps me to understand the problem at hand. So the big idea, and what I really want you guys to take away from this entire project, is the engineering design process. Now, I know this isn't the first time that you heard it, and we have gone through it, but what I'm going to be looking for in your journals is the 10 to 11 steps, depending on which ones you choose, of the engineering design process and how they relate to your project, your design, and what the final outcome will be. So I'm sure you're all wondering how you are going to be graded for this project, and just as I normally do, I provided a rubric to you. I have a little screenshot up on the PowerPoint. However, I will give you a paper copy as well. Along with the rubric, I plan to establish participation points, and also I will be grading your journals for sketches, designs, and note-taking. So the materials that you're going to need are listed above. You need journals, graph paper or isometric paper, bendable straws, 36 inches of masking tape, and I have 1,000 pack of pins that I will provide appropriately based on what you want to purchase. I will get 4 tennis balls and a fan as the natural disaster aspect of this project. So there are the standard links that I had used to find my standards for this presentation. A large reason why I do the straw tower is really to recap on those standards in the first slide. If you're looking for the standards themselves, they are in the notes section under slide 2. First, natural disasters and architectural flaws is something I try to demonstrate to the kids by using the fan as an element to play a negative factor into their structure. Secondly, I use the first project of the semester, this is usually the first project of the semester, and I push heavily on the design and creative process that must occur for their projects to really be successful. So often do I see my students just wanting to jump right in, grabbing materials because, to them all materials are free, and not putting much time into the design process, or really just kind of sitting back and thinking on it. And lastly, I use this as a tangible aspect for math. I feel that project-based learning gives the ability to add the real-world concept to science and mathematics that maybe other subjects do not. It really works to my advantage, and especially as an educator where math was never my strong suit. So I learned very quickly my way of understanding, and that was very much visual. So I really try to make sure I touch on that with my students knowing that they could have the same issues as I had. So that is my presentation. I am very excited to use Screencast-O-Matic. It is something that is talked about kind of often with some teachers at my school, and I've never given it a shot. And I will definitely be considering this. I think this could be really good, not only for the engineering classes that I teach, but also I teach graphic design. And when I do the Adobe Suite tutorials, I think this could actually be something that would be really helpful for them, and I can kind of walk them through. Okay, well, thank you again.